Hey, how was your Valentine's? And I asked that question because, I worked Valentine's Day. The 13th is when I actually celebrated. I had a good day. And as you can see, the flowers aren't here. Sadly, flowers are gone. So, that actually does lead me into the first poster here, which is going to be She Loves Me. And this is like the old adage or something that you did as a kid, maybe. And I know it's not as common nowadays, kind of just like a dumb little tale. But where you pick up like a daisy and you just start going, she loves me not, that kind of thing. And I did put enough petals on here, if you were to count them out, to actually come out to She Loves Me. Which, with there being 9 petals, or just odd petals with whichever you start with, will always end up as the same thing, for at least the flower's sake. So, She Loves Me, that's what I titled it. Up here is also exactly what it is. Daisy, right here, to just kind of tell you what the type of flower is, which is being translated from Japanese. Now, I know it seems like a stigma that a lot of posters will just have Japanese on it, but I thought it fit pretty well, especially considering the inspiration piece being like this flower design. I really like the airbrush. I did end up doing something with more grain later in this year, but with there being just the flowers that I wanted to focus on, but not just going right back to something like I did last year, or year 1, with there being the roses of red, violets, and blue poster, having this one being a daisy with that saying. I thought it was really nice, and I wanted it to make it look like it was both simple and could easily be put on this background and hang somewhere where it doesn't draw too much attention but could still be a good statement piece. Now, of course, I chose this like lighter blue because I thought it fit really nice and it contrasted really well against that nice like sun yellow of the daisy. And of course, having that third color be that white, that will be the main colors on the bottom for the She Loves Me, as well as the outline for my logo and the daisy up in Japanese up at the top there. Looking at our font choices, I forgot to do this earlier while I was looking at it, but this is called VD Logo Junior in the black style. And then here we have the black signature personal use, using it for personal use, and then in the regular style. So a super simple poster that I thought was a pretty good start to year 3, getting it simple, just kind of getting my legs back under me and beginning the year out strong. Let's go to our second poster where I think we continue this train. So here we have Passivity, and I chose this poster. I'm going to go over our inspiration first, based off of, again, another flower poster, but looking at both of these, knowing that I had a flower both day 1 and day 2, I didn't want to have flowers both days, so I decided to improvise a little bit. And this actually is another anime poster in reality, coming from the anime Fire Force, which happens to be, spoiler warning, a prequel to Soul Eater. So having this in poster format, you might not get it immediately, but if you're familiar with one of the characters, one of my favorite characters, just because her design is pretty cool, Haumea, she has the crown all the way around her head, and then obviously her protector Charon, or Karen, however you really want to say it. She has the pyrokinetic ability of like electricity, which she can use to like read people's like thoughts and movements through like the electrical synapses in each people's brains to just like anticipate or notice patterns with what's going on. But then she can also take control of people, and that's kind of like what's happening here, is just like those signals are coming out or even going in to the different like channels within the crown, and just having this like multi-pointed crown looking like it's a pretty big crown that would sit on somebody's head, obviously to mimic the design that she has. And with the passivity being at the bottom there, this actually does come from what each pillar in Fire Force represents. They represent a negative human emotion, and hers happens to be passivity, with just like letting things happen and not really wanting to do anything about it. Now, of course, she has the power to do something about it, but she chooses to be passive within moments. So that's what she kind of represents within the show here. And although I already have this outlined, so I can't really show it, this was one that I got off a free font website, and I thought it was super cool and worked really well here. And I think it continues to work really well here, just because it adds a nice base for the crown just above it. So, of course, going back to our inspiration, we have the use of this lighter blue up here. We have the use of this red, this nice like off red, like the orangish red at the bottom here. And sticking with these not 100% colors, we have like this greenish yellow with then this yellowish brown down here, with a nice solid black in the background that is bordered by a white, just to mimic the black and the white back in our inspiration piece there. I'm trying to fit everything into the base with still having these funky shapes being all fun, to also show that these thoughts aren't coming in all calm and collected like in the show or even in the manga. She gets very overwhelmed by these thoughts, and I just wanted to show some of that like crowdedness that can happen within these as they're all coming in at the same time. So this being the second poster, again, like I was already saying, I think this is a pretty damn good start to year 3 now. It's crazy to say, because now we actually get to see where I'm at, 3 years later. So this being the second poster, like I said, pretty strong start. We get to go into the third one though. Let's go. Ooh, and this is day 3. I forget. Obviously, I forget. This is one of my favorite posters just because of how much it kind of pushed me this day. This day, I absolutely had a ton of time to actually do this poster. And it comes from like this throwback, our inspiration, kind of being this guy just being very retro. And I thought of like older things to kind of model this off of. So I started going off of like a VHS photo, or even like sitting on my iPad and just drawing this out with different assets to kind of get that pose ready. And also kind of just making this character that was like a caricature of myself with more expressive glasses. Like my favorite superhero is Spider-Man, and I love when the artist will actually have like his glasses emote with him. I love that trope. So I wanted to do that here, and it's a little more accented up here with this eye seeming to be more squinted while this one is more open, to kind of look like he's leaning and trying to look all hip. But that being kind of the main things that I was throwing into the poster, I wanted to have, I researched when the VHS came out, which is around the 80s, and then kind of like the style from back then, because I wasn't around back then. So having just blue jeans with this nice like puffer, like going to the disco kind of jacket, and then having the VHS here with this like family home video style background here with a slight vignette on it to make it look like you're actually looking at it through a recorder. Of course, I can take all of that off and it starts looking a lot more vibrant, but I think just that like subtle making you focus on the middle is pretty nice for the poster. Now, using these colors were kind of like just the main colors that I found that kind of match with the 80s, with these like very vibrant and poppy colors. That also happen to fit really well on the jacket being blocked out here. Having this VHS tape in this style that I was able to come up with, I love doing this more like sharp edge, but still showing the entirety of the asset style. With the VHS, you can see like the tape recorder, like I was just hovering over, being very blocky and blocked out. And I even took this style into an overlay for when I stream. I was able to make an entire TV. I'll have to go over that when we're done with year 3. So stay tuned for that. But I wanted to have myself coming out of one side so I could still have both of these being combined, as if you were looking at this VHS tape like from a home recording video, and just like this is the main character. And it also started to feel like an old 80s, yo, 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 we're doing this, that kind of thing. Sorry, that was super fucking cringe, but whatever, it's staying in. So having just a very basic 80s throwback, I found this really nice blocked out font that was a little bit taller to stand at the top, and then a nice script type font that was able to flow into itself really nicely without crowding out and making you feel like I'm just reading script. It felt very retro, and it fit really well down here. This is one of my favorite posters from year 3, just because of how much fun I was able to actually have with it. And I pretty much had all day. I don't think I worked this day, and I was just able to go crazy with making this. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this poster, as that is going to conclude today's video, at least for the poster part. And if you guys could please just let me know what your favorite poster was from today, because personally mine is that third one, just because of how much fun I had doing it. And of course, if I had to go like ranking 1 through 3, it'd probably be day 3, 2, and then 1, because I think 1 was a nice base. 2, I really like the thought that I had behind it, and of course 3 was just the most fun that I had, at least at the start of the year here, because I think year 3 is a great way for me to just kind of have fun with all these posters, and you'll be able to see them more. If you want to skip ahead, of course, you can go look at my website, which is of course linked down in the description, so please go take a look. And of course, if you guys could like and subscribe on the video, because that would help me out a lot. And of course, like I've already said, just comment, tell me what was your favorite. But yeah, that's really going to be it from me. Love you guys. Bye-bye.